Hello and welcome to the SRII China Summit. My name is Ryan Wyndham and I'm the head of corporate strategy at F5 Networks. I'm also one of the newest members of the SRII leadership team. I'm joined here today by my colleague Cindy Borovic, who before joining F5 spent 20 years at IDC focused on researching the enterprise communication infrastructure and data center networking industry. So together, Cindy and I have formed a group at SRII to focus on innovating application networking services. And we'll be hosting a panel at the upcoming global conference in Silicon Valley in June, and we wanted to invite you to join us there. And today we're going to talk about some of the issues and the trends that we plan to address within this focus group. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit about what application networking services are. So as you know, applications are really at the core of IT's ability to generate revenue and drive operational efficiencies for a business. And application networking services, those are the layer 4 through 7 services that get between the user and the application to ensure availability, performance, and security of that application. So the most common product in this space is the application delivery controller, or the ADC. So the ADC is more of a platform really, and provides services such as load balancing, SSL offload, TCP optimization, caching, compression, as well as security services such as denial of service protection, web application firewalling, anti-fraud services, and so on. So cloud, mobility, and SDN have really begun to revolutionize the way that applications are developed, delivered, and deployed. And so within this group, we are going to focus on the implications of many of the megatrends in this space. For example, we're seeing a massive migration of applications from on-premise into the public cloud domain, or into SaaS applications as well. But the on-premise applications aren't going away in many cases. And so there's a need now for IT managers to manage a hybrid environment where you have applications on-premise and in multiple clouds. Another trend that's complicating things in the cloud space is the fact that a lot of the budget that used to be within centralized IT's hands is now being shifted to the line of business. So a lot of these new applications are actually being deployed by the line of business owner. And it's not just in clouds where we're seeing innovation. Even within on-premise data centers, we're seeing a lot of the same cloud-like architectures take hold there with software-defined networking and virtualization. For example, we're seeing a lot more east-west traffic. We're seeing the need for micro-segmentation of applications within the data center. And we're seeing a whole new organization of DevOps teams form in order to drive more efficiency and operational efficiency. We're also seeing big data analytics play a role. Companies are relying more and more on analytics to also drive efficiency. So in addition to tackling these major mega trends, we're also going to be talking about the first survey that was conducted within the industry on the state of application delivery. So Cindy Borovic and a few of her colleagues here at F5 conducted this survey. Cindy, can you tell us a little bit about some of the results and the findings?
Thanks, Brian. You know, one of the things that we really understand as an industry is how important applications are to driving the business forward and be the foundation for competitive advantage. And this competitive advantage, you know, isn't just when that new app comes out. It can last, you know, it can have downstream benefits for years to come if you have a first mover advantage. But one of the things that isn't as clear in the industry is the role that application services play in making sure that those apps are successful. And so what we did is we came together as a group and we published the first, what we believe to be the first ever report on application delivery services. It's the state of application delivery in 2015, and you can find that on F5's website. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about those results, and I look forward to seeing you all in San Jose to talk about those results in person. So, you know, the first thing we asked was really all about the strategic initiatives that would have the most impact on the IT organization. And we asked over 300 organizations in North America. They are primarily global organizations, so we think these trends are indicative of worldwide trends. So, you know, not surprisingly, we found that private cloud. At 58% of the respondents said that they would be deploying a private cloud. And the close second and third trends were around the deployment of mobile applications as well as the migration to software as a service. And the interesting thing is not just that we know that organizations are moving in that direction, but also if you think about the combination of those trends and the elasticity that is required from the data center itself in order to support all three of those, the scale that's required in terms of either scaling up or scaling down, and really the changes that is driving in the overall data center infrastructure. And we asked these respondents, we said, well, if you think about the migration to the cloud, what's your progression? What percentage of your apps will be moving to the cloud? And a third of the respondents said that they would move at least a quarter of their applications to the cloud. And that doesn't seem like a lot, but what we found was the average organization in the survey, they had 500 applications. So that's 100 applications that will be moving to the cloud for each organization. And the types of applications that they talked about moving to the cloud are, the ones that would seem normal in terms of CRM applications, collaboration applications. But there's a significant long tail of applications from human resources applications to industry-specific applications. The SaaS has really become that way that you get the best-in-class applications. And also even finance and billing. So as you make this progression to the cloud, you're going to have requirements in terms of your application services, and those requirements are different per application and depending on where they're deployed. So, one of the things that in terms of a conversation in the industry is there's an understanding that you need security services and that you need some load balancing and maybe some WAN optimization. But there are, and we surveyed over 22 different application services, and we grouped them into buckets. And please look, please look at the report. But there's the general availability services such as load balancing, DNS, global server load balancing. We asked about performance application services such as TCP optimization, WAN optimization. We also asked about identity and access management, as well as overall security applications. So there's a wealth of applications that we know are deployed. And one of the things that we did is we wanted to make the survey fun, and we asked what was the most important application service? And what would you want to make sure that when you deployed that application that you had that service? And what we found was availability was the most important service according to the respondents. And this makes sense. If this application is at the core of your organization's ability to drive revenue, you're going to want to make sure that that application is available, because what good is an application if it's not available? And security was closely followed, which also makes sense in terms of your reputation as an organization is on the line, and if that application is not secure, you risk your organization's reputation. You think about an organization that's deploying a new app for the Internet of Things, and maybe it's a kiosk, and it's critical that that kiosk does not lose the customer's personal information. So another area that we asked about is, what is your confidence to support an application security threat? And for the most part, the respondents felt that they were pretty confident that there's a maturity in terms of the security services that are deployed in the organization, and they are protecting the client, they're protecting the communication on response, and they're protecting the communication on request. So there was a pretty strong security posture within the survey respondents. Another area that we'd like to talk to you more about in the coming year in terms of the conversation is really around programmability in the network. And there's a number of types of programmability. One is data path programmability. The other is the deployment of app templates, which are really helpful in terms of bringing operational efficiency to the organization, really documenting the changes that you're making when you're deploying your network. And then also the types of programmability that can help you with automation and orchestration. And we know that all of those areas are becoming more and more important as organizations are looking to the network to be much more responsive to the business, really responding to the line of business requirements to deploy these new applications, to get closer to the customer, to have that customer intimacy, and to really make the network shine in this era where the app is so critical to the business as it moves forward. So with that, I look forward to additional conversations, and thank you very much.
So thank you, Cindy. So just to summarize, sounds like a great survey. We got a lot of good data back. But just to summarize, it sounds like application availability remains priority number one. Mm-hmm. Security is top of mind for customers as a close second. And customers see programmability really as a key way to drive business agility and to get their applications deployed.
Absolutely.
So, great. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to seeing you at the Global Conference in Silicon Valley in June.